amazing headphones.
Oh, am I commentating with Sky for the first time?
Actually, I don't think you'll be commentating with me. I'm just going to be talking about the Japanese a little bit with my terrible voice. My name is Sky. I'm wearing really ugly clothes, and I apologize, but let's get started. So, he wanted me to basically just talk about the Japanese, kind of where they stand on a lot of things and, you know, why they're here.
Right, right.
It's really important to note that none of them think that Meta Knight is broken. None of them think that Meta
they're
Knight
all
should be
anti-ban.
banned. They're all anti-ban, and I had a really intense interview with them. Now, I only speak enough Japanese to kind of, you know, ask them, like, where you want to go eat, you know, you sleep, and, you know, stuff like that. But I was able to translate as much as I could. Luckily, I had a professional translator later kind of give me more in-depth of what they were talking about.
Right.
So what they said was, you know, Meta Knight, the character, isn't banned. I think you've heard this before, but it's the stages. The stages are what really think that they think that we just need to change them in order for Meta Knight to be balanced. The one thing that really struck home with me is Rain explained that if Meta Knight were banned, the Japanese would be much less inclined to come, obviously, because
because many of them use him.
Exactly, and it makes me feel like somewhat now we're not going to be able to compete with the Japanese if Meta Knight is banned.
Right.
And they had expressed their disinterest in, you know, coming to America, which makes me sad because we won't be able to see them anymore.
Yeah, that's definitely a really upsetting thing to hear. The Japanese coming out is what makes Apex Apex, and it's what's made so many international tournaments amazing. Europe has made, you know, one of its first big appearances here, but Japan is really consistent with coming out to the bigger tournaments, Genesis and Apex. Pardon my voice.
No, me too. So a quick thing on each of these players. I think the most intense player that I've seen is actually not Nietono, who is playing right now, but it has to be Otori, the fastest Meta Knight in the world. Beat Larry, and Larry just complained that he was just so fast he had to slow down. And now Nietono is going to play. Nietono is said to be the best player in Japan right now. And we're going to have Dee and Brandon take over with Doom, and they're going to commentate, okay? So enjoy.
All right, that was great from Sky. Thank you, Sky.
I love Sky.
I love Sky, too. I can't believe we didn't like him at one point.
So,
all right,
my favorite to win the tournament, Nietono.
I would love to see Nietono win. Before the Japanese came over, they told us they're here for the title of Apex Champion. They got second. Brood took second at Apex 2010, but that was not good enough for them.
Brood is a fantastic player. Did not make it as far this time. Last time he took second, but from what I've said, talked to the Japanese about, they have said every single time, in unison, Nietono is superior.
Yeah. And a noticeable amount, apparently. We saw Nietono take an early loss in winners to Nairo, I believe, round 3 or 4.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Nairo has been out of control this tournament.
Nairo is absolutely out of control. He took out Havoc, he took out Nietono, which we didn't really know who was going to be able to do that, especially when Anti dropped out of the bracket. But right now he is extremely dominant over ADHD, over 100% lead. This guy's item control is absolutely insane. I played him in one match with Diddy, and it was not a nice sight.
Now, it's an interesting fact that tournaments in Japan are generally played for nothing.
All tournaments in Japan are played for nothing.
Well, I mean, some are sponsored, but most of the time, when you go to a tournament in Japan, you are there to play the game for fun. For fun, for pride, and to win. Now, what's funny is you'll notice the camping styles in America, people will do any strategy to win, including abusing anything the game will give you. Camping in Japan is proper spacing and zoning, as you see from a lot of the Japanese Street Fighter players as well, which is why Daigo is able to throw as many Hadoukens as he wants during a match and never get punished for it. Nietono is kind of the same way. I mean, we see him throw Pikmin, and there's not a lot of punishment for it.
The way these guys play is obscenely patient. They will, if you're on the edge, they will stand in place and just wait for you to do something. Their reaction is out of control. Their spacing and zoning, as you said, absolutely amazing. There's nothing that these players can't do. They have the drive to practice. I don't know if it's maybe the absence of money that fuels them to play so hard, but they want to win. That's all that matters to them. They want to win, and they will play absolutely perfectly to do so.
It's very impressive to see the amount of work that some players put in, especially the Japanese.
There goes Nietono's first stock. Still very clearly dominant over ADHD in this match. ADHD played Brood earlier today, and apparently it wasn't a very close match. So, you know, we know ADHD knows this matchup. There are plenty of Olimars around here, but Nietono is really just showing that he's another breed.
So ADHD has had a pretty easy run so far, besides just one loss. But with the Japanese today, Ocean, the player who beat Mewtwo King in bracket, got double 3-stocked by ADHD.
Yep.
And he's going to need to bring some of that fire here because even with that small gimp that he was able to take the second stock with, he's still going to have a very uphill battle if he wants to win this.
Especially because he is at kill percent for a purple Pikmin up smash and approaching kill percents for the rest of them too. Oh, that was almost it. If it weren't for his loss to Nairo earlier in the bracket, I would say that Nietono has done a great job of showing himself to be untouchable.
Indeed. There are a ton of Diddy players in Japan. I think almost every single player has a pocket Diddy Kong. It's like their Meta Knight over there.
They have 3 characters that all of them can play, and that's Diddy Kong, Meta Knight, and Sheik. I don't know why, but they all have a pocket Sheik.
Sheik is so fun. She's actually very easy to play once you understand her.
Yeah, she's a very basic character, but Sheik is not on the screen, and in fact, a really powerful Olimar is something that we've been seeing a lot of since the tentative ban on Meta Knight.
That was so fast.
He is ridiculous.
That certainly would have killed me.
Yeah, I think I lost. I lost a long time ago.
ADHD loves FT. I mean, everyone in the world knows that ADHD loves FT. And
any Diddy Kong.
He just got kind of bodied.
Yeah.
So where's he going to go?
It's I don't know. It's rare that ADHD even does get to play on FD in a tournament set.
Go back. I don't know if I would have made the same decision.
I'm not sure either. The Japanese only play on 3 stages in their country. I would have, if I were ADHD, chosen
Delfino.
a jankier stage. Yeah, Delfino probably, maybe Frigate. But they really love to ban that stage. Every tournament match I've seen them play, they've banned it. Even the Meta Knights.
Really?
Yes, even the Meta Knights ban Frigate. And ADHD's off to a much better start this time. It's a relatively even game to start. Oh, and the gap is widening as the match progresses. It's just showing there's a noticeable gap in skill, which is really scary because we're used to seeing ADHD take everybody here.
Now, like we said, everyone in Japan has a pocket Diddy Kong. And with that means they have a ton of experience with items, even in settings where you don't use them.
And one of the problems that I think American players have with item control, or maybe just the Diddy matchup, is that they don't have the drive or the patience to sit down and really master items.
And it's important.
It is. We see the Japanese players never have any sort of excuse for being unable to do something technical. You know, they will practice it. They can do the weird Diddy Kong infinites. They can, you know, they have perfect control over items. They have very good spacing. You know, nothing is out of their reach because they have the drive to practice.
I think a lot of the low-level and mid-level players just assume that, oh, items are done. They're not used in tournaments, so there's no reason to have them on. And realistically, items are not, seriously, they're really not that random. I mean, we ran a bracket called All Brawl, and it's every stage on random characters, all items on medium, and it's the first of 2 wins. And yet for the last 3 times we've run it, we've seen Delta Cod and like Nairo and Pee-wee all in the top 3. It's the same faces every time. Like, there's luck in poker too. Just because there's luck doesn't mean there's not skill.
And when there is a controlled environment for items, such as fighting Diddy Kong or maybe Peach or Rob, but certainly the Diddy Kong matchup, mastery of items is extremely important.
As you can see.
I think anybody who hasn't mastered item play in the almost 4 years this game has been out, you're hindering yourself. Diddy Kong is an extremely popular and powerful character. Look at that instant throw. Something I find rather humorous is that Olimar holding a banana looks strangely like he's holding a purple Pikmin. It's rather ambiguous unless you're listening to the little item drop noise that the game makes. You have to pay very close attention to tell if he's actually holding a banana or not. That can really mess with you. This game is, again, significantly closer than game 1 was. Nietono is almost at risk of losing his stock, but now that ADHD stalled out his kill moves, he's going to be around for a while. 2 purple Pikmin in his army.
On the player cams, you'll see ADHD on the left side of your screen. Famous for standing up,
Yes,
never sits
very
down when he
famous for
plays.
standing.
And on the opposite end, we have Nietono on the floor. No chairs involved in this match.
Yeah, there's no healthy medium here. Oh, man.
Ooh, another
Another
two-stock.
2-stock. ADHD has been eliminated from the tournament.
Again, this is the second time that the loser of the match